Goethe Institute has been promoting the German language and German culture around the world for 60 years this summer. This week, our series Globetrotting with Goethe accompanies a young German writer on a scholarship to Japan, just 4 months after the Fukushima disaster.
1.5 million people live in the city of Kyoto. German writer Lucy Fricke is a temporary resident, doing research for her new novel. For that, she slips into the role of her protagonist, a Foley artist from Germany who travels to Kyoto shortly after the Fukushima nuclear disaster to record the city's soundscape.
I'm really looking for everything that sounds foreign to me. Station noises, announcements, vending machines, machines that speak to people and people who speak to machines. Everything, really. This, for example, it's great.
The 36-year-old is the first guest at the Goethe Institute's Kamogawa Artists' Villa. She is the only one of 4 grant holders to make the trip to Japan. The others canceled after the disastrous string of events earlier in the year. On March 11th, shortly before Fricke's departure, Japan was hit by an earthquake. It was followed by a tsunami violent enough to wipe out entire towns and claim 26,000 lives. Shortly afterwards, an explosion rocked the nearby Fukushima Nuclear Power Station, sparking fears of radioactive contamination. So what appeal does Japan hold right now?
I was unsure as to whether or not I should go. It was a catastrophe and there was no end in sight. There are always horrifying news stories, but ultimately that's what appealed to me. My curiosity was almost greater than any possible fear. It was also hard to judge the situation.
Last year, Fricke broke into the German literary scene with her novel I Brought Friends, a tragic comedy that paints a ruthless picture of the failures of city-dwelling 30-somethings. Fricke doesn't write about linear sequences of events, and her own life hasn't been straightforward. She quit school young and then worked in bars and factories. She started writing after attending a creative writing program in Leipzig in 2003. In Kyoto, she's observing her own generation and how the calm handling of the nuclear crisis is turning into panic.
It's an economic crisis and a recession, and that's really tough for the country, and everyone knows it. People my age are really feeling it. They don't know who will pay their pension. Okay, who does know that? But right now, there's a great amount of fear and uncertainty.
The author is in Kyoto for 3 months. Like her heroine, she is exploring new sounds, smells, tastes, and language, all tinged with fear. The ancient city of Kyoto is just 500 kilometers from Fukushima, but earthquakes, tsunamis, and radioactivity seem a long way away for residents. They prefer to carry on as usual rather than give in to fear, and they welcome visitors from abroad.
Right now they're very happy because too few tourists have been coming here. They've noticed that people are distancing themselves from Japan and don't want to come here, and that artists are canceling their performances. So it's really nice when they approach you on the street and say, "Thank you for coming."
The Goethe Institute in Kyoto has been here for almost 50 years. But the Kamogawa Artists' Villa is new. It provides a place for German artists to live and work for 3 months at a time.
It's really cultural exchange in the best sense of the word. Because Germans come here and show their approaches to artistic creation. But they're also influenced during their time here, and they take those influences back to Germany and show them there.
It's not easy for the writer from Berlin to make friends in Kyoto. The Japanese are reserved and stick to formalities, rules, and etiquette. As a foreigner, it's easy to make mistakes.
You slurp noodles, you suck them in like this. It's considered polite.
I'm looking forward to more grant holders living in Kyoto. I hope they'll take back good memories of our food and our tradition.
Lucy Fricke isn't afraid of plumbing the depths, either in her work or her life. That could be why she's in a country many are avoiding in light of the nuclear disaster.
You see the life you live back home in a different way. This distance is very, very good. I'm absorbing the way people here think and behave, and it will certainly influence my stories.
She doesn't want to say what role the nuclear disaster will play in her new novel, but whatever picture she paints, the serenity is bound to be shaken.